My deceitful wife locked eyes with me, her voice unnervingly calm as she announced, "No more lies. You should know I've found someone else, someone true, and he'll be staying here some nights." Instead of erupting in rage or clenching my fists as she might have anticipated, I gave a subtle smile and replied softly, "I don't think he'll be much use to you. His greatest assets are already worthless, right here at this table." I took a measured sip of my coffee, studying her reaction intently. Claire reclined in her seat, swirling her wine glass with the air of someone who believed she controlled the house she'd just turned into a battlefield. That smug grin, which had haunted me for months, remained fixed on her lips. She spoke again, her tone as casual as if commenting on the weather. "I'm done concealing things. He'll be around sometimes and you'll have to deal with it." My grip tightened on the mug, but I refused to give her the explosive reaction she clearly desired. No, I'd sensed this betrayal coming for some time. Her late evenings, her sudden shift in appearance, the way she protected her phone like a vault. I'd known for months but chose silence over confrontation. Instead, I watched, tracked, and strategized. Now that she'd openly admitted her infidelity, she seemed to expect a storm of emotions, shouting, tears, or begging. What she received instead was my composed smile and a cryptic comment. "He's useless to you," I repeated. "He's already lost what counts." Her confidence faltered, giving way to puzzlement. "What do you mean?" she demanded sharply. I placed my mug on the table, leaned closer, and kept my tone steady and quiet. "You'll find out soon enough." A shadow of uncertainty crossed her face, the first crack in her self-assured facade. She tilted her head, searching my expression for clues, but I revealed nothing. Standing, I said, "Enjoy this evening. It'll be the last one that feels normal." Then I walked away, leaving her to stew in her own unease. She thought she held all the cards, believed she was outwitting me. That was her first mistake. I'd been planning 10 steps ahead since doubt first crept in. Rather than accusing her, I observed. One night, I trailed her and confirmed my darkest suspicions. His name was Daniel, a cocky opportunist who sneaked into my home behind my back. But Daniel was reckless, and I dug deeper, into his job, his finances, his past. The man was a catastrophe waiting to unfold. A criminal record, buried in debt, and most critically, a concealed health issue. All I needed was patience. That night, I pretended to turn in early. Claire didn't hesitate. She touched up her lipstick and sent the text. I monitored her through the security cameras I'd installed weeks prior. Daniel arrived shortly after, swaggering into my house as if he owned it. His smug grin was almost laughable. I let them get comfortable, let them feel safe, and then I made my move. The anonymous tip was prepared, and I sent it. Soon, sirens cut through the night. Within moments, red and blue lights flashed outside. Claire had no time to react before the front door burst open. Armed police stormed in. Daniel's face went pale as handcuffs snapped around his wrists. "Daniel Carter, you're under arrest for fraud, embezzlement, and identity theft," an officer declared. Claire jumped up, screaming, "What's going on?" I descended the stairs slowly, each step calculated. Her panicked eyes locked on me. "You did this," she whispered. I paused at the bottom, meeting her gaze. "Of course I did. Did you think I'd just sit back and let you humiliate me?" She lunged toward me, her anger boiling over, but an officer blocked her path. I stayed calm. "Be careful," I said evenly. "We're still married, and when I'm done you'll be left with nothing." She stood there, shaking, as Daniel was dragged away, shouting that he'd been framed. Her arrogance had vanished, replaced by a mix of fear, guilt, and fury. "What did you do?" she demanded, her voice cracking. I folded my arms and leaned against the wall. What I had to. She had played her game, but I had rewritten the rulebook. This was just the beginning. I let the police handle the rest. "Claire, you might want to sit. Things are about to spiral beyond your control." Her fists tightened, and she spat that I hadn't truly won, claiming Daniel would be out on bail soon. I couldn't help but laugh. She still didn't understand. I hadn't just been watching their affair. I'd been investigating, gathering every piece of evidence to ensure Daniel faced justice this time. Her smug attitude crumbled as I pulled out my phone and opened a file. Showing her the screen, I said, Let me show you the reality. Daniel wasn't just cheating. He was caught up in fraud, identity theft, huge debts, and worst of all, online activity with minors. Her face paled as I presented the evidence. You're making this up, she whispered, but her voice wavered with doubt. I tilted the phone, making the screenshots, chat logs, and financial records impossible to deny. Leaning closer, I said, So Claire, how do you think people will react when they learn not only about your affair but that you brought this man into our home, introduced him to our friends, and let him sleep under our roof? Think you'll escape unscathed? Her hands trembled uncontrollably. I didn't know, she stammered. You didn't care, I countered. And now you're going down with him. Before she could reply, I added casually, You might want to check your bank accounts. She blinked, confused. They're empty. Her head jerked up. What? I nodded. That joint savings account you thought I overlooked? I've been tracking it, moving funds every time you spent money on him. And today, when I filed for divorce, I made sure you'd be left with nothing. Panic overwhelmed her. She fumbled for her phone, opened her banking app, and saw the truth. Her balance was zero. You're lying, she gasped. See for yourself, I replied. Her silence confirmed everything. Then I delivered the final blow. The house is mine. You signed a prenup, remember? You get nothing. Desperation spread across her face. You monster. You can't do this. I stepped closer, my voice low. It's already done. Tears welled up, her once confident demeanor shattered. She had no savings, no home, and soon no reputation. I stepped back, glanced at my watch, and said, I'd love to stay and watch you unravel, but I have better things to do. You, however, have about a day before everything falls apart. Her voice shook. What do you mean? I smiled. You're about to become very well known. Then her phone started buzzing incessantly, message after message pouring in. She opened them, her breath catching. Screenshots of her affair were spreading through our social circles. Daniel's criminal history was circulating. Even the open marriage agreement she'd once bragged about was now viral, making her a public spectacle. You sent this, she whispered, her voice breaking. I didn't deny it. Not just to them. Your boss, your family, even your yoga group, they all know. I left her there, consumed by the chaos she'd created. I didn't look back. By morning, she was more than notorious, she was an outcast. The documents, messages, and evidence of her secrets were everywhere. Friends abandoned her. Family disowned her. Her colleagues looked at her with contempt. And best of all, her company fired her, unwilling to handle the scandal. As for Daniel, bail was denied. Judges don't take kindly to predators. The divorce papers were served promptly. She had 1 month to leave my house. I, meanwhile, was doing just fine. That night, she called, her voice broken and desperate, pleading to talk, sobbing that she had nowhere to go. I let her cry, let her feel the helplessness she'd once ignored. Then I said, Not my problem, and hung up. The texts kept coming, one after another. I ignored them. She'd made her choices, and now she could face the consequences. But she wasn't done. By the end of the week, she showed up at my doorstep, her makeup smeared, her hair a mess, a shadow of the woman who once thought she had me beaten. Please, she croaked, her eyes swollen. I have no one. I looked at her, the broken remains of someone who once delighted in my suffering. I smiled. So, where's your perfect lover now? Her lips trembled. He's gone. He won't answer. I gave a soft chuckle. Yeah, neither will I. And with that, I closed the door on her for good. She collapsed outside, sobbing, but it no longer mattered. To me, she was nothing.